Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with this week's Think Tank guest. But as always, we want to give a shout out to K12 Sports Tech, along with our other great sponsors. Now, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, and listen to our Think Tank guest. Then go and visit K12 Sports Tech and our other great sponsors. Here we go. We really want to thank K12 Sports Tech for sponsoring the Think Tank segments. K12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and sport vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting services. Athletic directors are also encouraged to join the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how companies shape their tech to better serve schools. For more information, just go to K12sportstech.com. That's K12sportstech.com. We also want to thank our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an AD, we were a Huddle school, and our coaches, our student athletes, even our parents just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Go to Huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. You know, in my school, we use surveys for everything, for student athletes, for coaches, teachers, even parents. And here's the cool thing. The information that would come back, almost always over the top positive. We also got to hear from those squeaky wheel parents and address their concerns. But having all that positive data was incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. It's athleticsurveys.com. We also want to say thanks to Hometown. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that include, online ticketing. They're still the number one provider. But how about fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction, and a whole lot more. Whether you're an AD, a coach, even a principal, Hometown can help you save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. For more information, just go to hometown.com. And don't forget to tell them you heard about it on the podcast. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that demo today. We also want to thank our friends at Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing guru. Gipper's used and trusted by over 20,000 schools and colleges across the country. And whether it's a simple social media post to celebrate a victory, or an entire newsletter to celebrate all the great things your school is doing, the professionally designed templates and the Gipper team is going to have you up and running in no time. That's Gipper.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Snap Raise. If you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser, been disappointed in the results, well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with tremendous success. They also have some other great apps, but if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. We want to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and it was a great experience. And while he was doing it, he also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We'd like to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is the official high school sports administration software platform for a number of states, thousands of ADs, and even if your state has a different platform, you can be a home campus school. I'm telling you, their features are just out of this world. Their athletic clearance and eligibility platform, you got to see it to believe it. To get started, just go to homecampus.com. That's it, homecampus.com. And finally, we want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of their units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be like a magnet for kids, for coaches. How about parents, sponsors? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out all their great products today. And don't forget to mention the podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. This week, the think tank is going to Pennsylvania, and our guest is Bob Hartman. Bob is the longtime athletic director at Whitehall High School. And again, that's up in Pennsylvania. We're joined, of course, by Alec Brown, the COO of K12 Sports Tech. Bob, I'll just start with you first. Welcome to the think tank.
Glad to be here, Jake. Glad to be able to take advantage of this opportunity.
Well, I'm excited for our listeners. I'm excited too to have you share a little bit about your story and the many ways that you are actually involved with the think tank. Alec, I think it's good evening for you, right? How are you doing?
Yeah, almost. It's late afternoon. I'm great. Thanks for having me again.
Okay. Um, if you're new to the think tank, we're going to get into what it is and how it works, but let's go and let our guests kind of share a little bit about them. Bob, I like to say, give our listeners your life story in 2 minutes. Where you grew up, where you went to school, talk a little bit about your school, and then we'll get into your own think tank experience.
Thanks, Jake. So I am a lifelong resident of the Whitehall Copley School District. I was a student, graduate of Whitehall High School. Went off to Shippensburg University for my undergrad work, and then returned to Whitehall as a teacher and a coach. Spent 7 years as a head wrestling coach and 7 years as an assistant football coach. And then I guess some would say I got demoted to athletic director from my, we had a pretty good run at wrestling, had a state champ, and it was one of those right place, the right time deals. 23, that was 2002. So 23 years later, 30 years in public education. I was the athletic director. I went on to also be vice president of the PIAA board of directors. I was District 11 chairman. So I was lucky enough to be in some really meaningful leadership roles. And officially will be retired from that position on August 13th. Unofficially, my last day in the office was June 20th, but it was a phenomenal experience. The Whitehall Copley School District is a place that's near and dear to me. We have about 4,000 students K-12. We graduate in the mid 300s, pretty robust athletics program. And I think our claim to fame is we have 3 Whitehall graduates that equal 7 Super Bowl rings. Matt Millen won 4 Super Bowl rings. Dan Copen, center for the Patriots and Broncos, won 2. And most recently, Saquon Barkley, Whitehall graduate. So we have 7 rings from 3 guys, and that's a pretty big number.
Holy mackerel! Wow, I think that's a challenge to all our listeners. Can anybody top that? Just real quick, I got to ask. I'll go recently. Was Saquon dominant as a high school football player? I mean, I can't imagine trying to tackle that guy.
So Saquon was a very good high school football player, and I would say he was dominant, but his numbers were not like gaudy, crazy numbers. I think his senior year he ran for 1,800 yards, which is, that's a lot of yards, but it's not 3,000. He probably had in the low 20s in touchdowns, but he also played defense. He was on special teams.
Exactly.
He didn't leave the field, and he did some things on the field that I've, as you guys have seen with the backwards hurdle and all those things. The leaping and hurdling people started in high school, but it was a penalty then. So he's been able to get away with it now.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm sure there's some highlight tape, some grainy VHS tape that we could watch. As I shared already, Alec Brown is the COO of K12 Sports Tech, and he is truly, one of us. Alec, share your journey in athletics. Okay.
Absolutely. And I promise I cannot top that Super Bowl ring story. Not even close. But yeah, my background is in education. I started my career as a teacher in Chicago, quickly went into administration and ended up at a brand new high school that didn't offer sports to their students. And sports were a big part of growing up in my life, and it's something I think all kids should have the opportunity to experience. So I walked into my principal's office one day and asked if we could try to start a sports program. She said yes, and that got me into a life of athletics as a career. So I was a baseball coach for about 4 or 5 years. I was an AD for about 8 years. Really enjoyed the experience, opportunity to get a lot of students from underprivileged areas involved in sports that otherwise wouldn't have had that opportunity. So really enjoyed that. Went on to run an organization in Chicago called Beyond Sports Foundation for about 4 years, which was geared towards helping Chicago-based high school and college student athletes prepare for life after sports. So we did a lot of job training and workforce development and professional development with those student athletes, and another great experience. Probably would still be there today, actually, but my family and I made a big move due to my wife's career, and we ended up overseas in London. We've been here for about 2.5 years, and we'll be here for 2 more months before we're moving back to the States. So that's exciting. But in that time, I connected with Abby Emerson, who's the founder and CEO of K12 Sports Tech, and that sort of set the path to become a partner of hers and start this company. And since then, it's been a great experience. What K12 is a consulting and resource hub that connects ADs to sports tech vendors. We do that with a group called our AD Think Tank, which is what Bob has been a part of. So an opportunity for ADs to be compensated for their feedback on vendor products and help vendors figure out if their solutions solve a problem for school sports programs and how to make them better. So the whole emphasis is to make the industry more customer centric and connect those ADs directly to the vendors to help them solve the real world problems that school sports programs have.
Yeah, and as regular listeners, can attest to, I think the platform it's unique, but it's also just tremendous. Who would have thought connecting athletic directors, well, to each other, which is great for networking, but also connecting them directly to the vendors, not in a sales pitch relationship, but as you said, in an actual consulting relationship. And listeners, if this is your first time hearing about the think tank, go to K12sportstech.com. It's free to join. And again, you're going to become part of a network of ADs nationwide. And you're also going to have the opportunity to participate in consulting projects and, oh, by the way, get paid for it. Bob, let's jump back to you. Can you share how you heard about the think tank, how you got involved, and maybe share, if you can, one of the projects that you've participated in so far?
So Alec and his team, they do a great job with marketing the think tank, and I was always an athletic director who wanted to, I guess, stay ahead of the curve, right? In our school district, we were very progressive in trying to find the newest and greatest thing. So went through the survey, got involved, was selected to be a part of the think tank. It was really good for me to be able to look at new products. Unfortunately for me, I also started to get involved towards the end of my career. But we did take a look at one of the products, Helmet Tracker, which I remember probably 10 to 12 years ago, I went to Temple University to look at a similar product to see how we could do a better job of controlling inventory. And so we went through this process with Helmet Tracker. It was very educational. We ultimately decided that we weren't going to use the Helmet Tracker, but if I were a new athletic director with inventory control problems, which I think most of us have, it's something I definitely would want to be a part of. It was very valuable and had great value from a cost perspective. But at my point in my career and talking with our new athletic director who was coming on board, we assessed it. We think there's value to it, but we thought we were in a pretty good spot and just made the decision not to. But it was a very valuable experience that it got our wheels turning much more to try to get to a better spot.
Yeah. And again, that's just been, very typical of the responses of ADs that have participated in projects. It's great to be on the cutting edge. I know Alec talks about they're looking for forward thinking athletic directors. I love that expression. Alec, what's been some of the feedback that you've gotten from the vendors themselves and this consulting relationship?
Yeah, I think vendors overall have really enjoyed the process. They often come away or they often start the process thinking they know everything about the space and then come away knowing thinking that they didn't know nearly as much as they thought they did. Um, we've seen vendors make many improvements to their platforms based on our AD feedback. I think the most important thing that we've seen is a real effort from our vendors to make their solutions accessible for all different types of school sports programs and just do creative things with pricing and different tiers of what they offer to be able to provide solutions that can benefit all types of programs, whether you're in a high socioeconomic area or a low socioeconomic area.
Yeah, and another neat thing about the K12 Sports Tech, let's say family, is the vendor directory. Can you share a little bit about how that works? And then Bob, I'm going to put you on the spot here after Alec shares.
Yeah, so we just launched our vendor directory last month. So it's relatively new, but it's really an opportunity for us to do our work on a much larger scale. Obviously, there's only a certain amount of bandwidth that we have to take on consulting projects and a certain amount of vendors that we can work with, but the directory is designed to be for everyone. So that when an AD is looking for a new apparel solution or a new video camera solution, they can use the directory to do research and see what other ADs have said about all the different companies in that particular space. So the directory is growing every day. I think we have about 80 companies represented on the directory right now with reviews from ADs in our think tank, so vetted reviews from ADs from all over the country. And it's really an exciting thing to see it grow. And I think as it grows, it's going to become a huge time saver for ADs to just be able to go to one place and do all the research they need when picking out, things that they need for the program.
Yeah, I can't overemphasize how cool I think that feature is because again, athletic directors, Bob, you know this, you're buying stuff every year easily, sometimes every month. It seems like hey, can I get more baseballs? And you probably have a regular supplier, but let's say a new product comes out, or you're just looking for how can we do better? I think ADs do that a lot. Well, here's the vendor directory with products that you use every day as an AD that are actually rated by other athletic directors. So you know how it is, Bob. You get that cold call from a salesperson, and you've never heard of the product. It could be the greatest thing in the world. It's the next big thing. But if you don't know about it, if you haven't used it, it's still a sales pitch. On the other hand, if one of your colleagues down the road calls you up and says, hey, Bob, have you heard about this new product? The product hasn't changed at all. But that endorsement from your friend, or in this case, an endorsement from the vendor directory, that product just became gold. Have I expressed that accurately? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I learned early on in my athletic administrative career is that we beg, borrow, and steal, right? Whether it's a document or a product. We always talk about budgets, but it's not just financial budgets, it's time budgets. And to be able to have a one-stop shop where I can go and get reviews, look at products much more quickly than actually having to pick up the phone and call 6 or 7 or 8 different people to have those at my fingertips is incredibly valuable. So you may find better prices, but you also are more efficient with your time, which as an athletic administrator, you never have enough time. So.
No, absolutely. Tremendous point. Now, I mentioned I was going to put you on the spot for our listeners. Bob shared longtime AD at Whitehall. He's actually, retiring here in, a couple of weeks. But he's not just going to go out fishing. He has picked up another project. Can you share with our listeners what that project is and how it relates to our discussion about the vendor directory?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, probably about 6 years ago, I was lucky enough to start building a relationship with Chris Kern, who's the owner and CEO of Digital Scoreboards, who's a member of the think tank. We had purchased products from Chris. We have a football board, we have an indoor board, we have a soccer board, we have marquees, we have a scorers table. But in that whole process, my relationship with Chris just got stronger. He was like a mentor as well. And a few years ago, he gave me a standing offer that whenever I'm ready, there's an opportunity for me to go out and get on the road and be a regional sales executive for him, and this just seemed like the right time. So, because of my relationships in Pennsylvania, through my athletic director job, Chris thinks it's a great fit for his company. Again, word of mouth, you know, the vendor directory, those types of things. This is where relationships and relying upon other athletic directors hopefully will be beneficial for Chris and obviously beneficial for myself as well. But Digital Scoreboards, phenomenal company, and I'm so proud and honored to be a part of it. And we're growing, and glad to be a part of the think tank as well.
Oh, well, congratulations on that. Great opportunity. And again, you're absolutely right. Those relationships that we build over the years, that carries a tremendous amount of weight in really any kind of discussion, but certainly when you're going to be buying a big ticket item like that. Alec, you've mentioned on previous episodes how, the think tank has grown. You've hit certain, milestones. Anything coming up over the summer that our listeners should be aware of?
Yeah, we're just really looking to grow our directory over the summer and get more companies involved in that. So it truly does become that time saver for the ADs that are in our network and that are even not in our network that are just, venturing onto the site. We hit our 500th AD quite a while back. We're approaching 1,000 now and also gearing up for another great NADC, which is I know in December, but it'll be here before we know it, and planning for some really awesome events during that time as well.
Well, we're gonna have to do another, special, promotion contest about that thousandth member and the person who refers that thousandth member. We'll try to give away some more prizes for that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
We already mentioned the website, K12sportstech.com. Go there, click on the AD Think Tank icon. Alec, if somebody wanted to reach out and take a deeper dive, find out more about the think tank, or just connect with you, what's the best way that they can do that?
Yeah, please shoot me an email, Alec, ALEC, at K12sportstech.com.
And Bob, gosh, it sounds like you'd be a tremendous network addition for any athletic director, or maybe if they want to find out more about digital. What's the best way that they can connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me through the Digital Scoreboards website at digitalscoreboards.net or email at bhartman, Hartman, at digitalscoreboards.net. I love to talk to other ADs. That's some of the, other end coaches. That's been some of my best memories, having a coach come in the office or an AD and just talking shop and building relationships. So I would be more than welcome to have those conversations.
Okay. Now I got to ask, are you going to be coming down to Tampa for the NADC?
I hope that will be on my schedule. I was in Austin this past year, and do intend to uh, attend in Tampa as well.
All right. Well, hopefully, we'll be able to connect, and also you can connect with all of our listeners. Um, as always, gentlemen, thanks for everything you do in this space, and have a great summer. Worst case, we'll see you all in Tampa.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
For our listeners, we want to say thanks to you and remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of each interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We try to do the think tank just about every week, and just about every day. We try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So please come back and join us again on the next episode of the AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Hey, before we go, we want to thank all of our sponsors, but especially K12 Sports Tech for sponsoring these Think Tank segments. Want to say thanks to Home Campus. Want to thank Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Want to say thanks to Gipper. Want to say thank you to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Want to say thanks to Snap Rays, to Huddle, to Ohio University. Want to thank Hometown, Athletic Surveys, and Huddle. Go and check out these sponsors. Remember, they're all companies that I used as an athletic director. You should be using them too. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and on the Educational AD Podcast.